Hi, it's Leeky here. I thought I might do a quick flip through of the Jane Davenport watercolor challenge I did this month. I had a lot of fun doing that. I worked in her small journal. I really like the paper in these journals. They're great for watercolors and other water-soluble materials. I've been using her bright watercolor palettes. As you can see, the colors are really vibrant, really bright. I've also been using the mermaid markers, and maybe this is a quick tip, but I swatched out the colors so it's easy to grab the right colors. Just tape them on the package it came in. I've been also using some of her inks and her incredible pen. In this case I filled it with one of her inks. And I've been using a Posca pen for the highlights and some color pencils here and there, but not too much. So every day the challenge was to be inspired by a certain color. And this one was the first we started with. It's called Raven Black. That's why I chose to do a raven. I started with the background with the inks, and then I drew the raven on top with the fountain pen, Jane's fountain pen, and because it was very dark I also used some colored pencils to get the bird more to stand out from the dark background. The other one was Cocoa Brown. For this one I've used the mermaid markers. They work not the same as watercolors, but they do seem similar and they're a lot of fun to play with. And at the end I did use some white color pencil to get more of the highlights out. This one is the Spice Sepia, so I thought I'd do a spicy woman. I've used the fountain pen with the brown ink in it. First I drew her, and then I used the brush with clean water to smudge out and to get the shadow effects. This one is called Frolicsome Orange. That's why I was inspired to do the orange. I wanted to do a very fun portrait. I've used Jane's watercolor set for this one. This is the Boss Yellow, so I decided to add some cute bumblebees. It's also done with the watercolor set. This is the Jiminy Green. I started, after I've done the pencil sketch, I started with the background with inks, and then I used her watercolors to do the face. I really like the effects you can get with the inks. This is the Mermaid Green. Of course, I had to do a mermaid. I also did the background with the inks And I did the mermaid with the watercolors. This is the Lorelei turquoise, if I pronounce that right. It's done with watercolors, and as you can see, I use the Posca paint pen just for the tiny little highlights. I try to use as much of the white of the paper for highlights, but those tiny little things I prefer to use the paint pen. This is the 70s eyeshadow. So I looked up some images of the makeup they were in the 70s, and I found this picture of this woman with that really bright blue eyeshadow and the cameo. And to give it a more of the disco vibe, I added these balls with, I did these with inks. The rest is done with the watercolors. This is the butterfly blue. Again, I did the light sketch, and I started with the inks for the background, and I used the watercolor for the face and the butterfly. And as you can see, I let it drip to get some more effects. This is the ink indigo. I did everything with the watercolors. I really like the pose, the face. This is the royal purple. I'm a real cat lover. As you cat owners know, cats can behave sometimes like kings and queens. So that's why I decided to use a picture of a Maine Coon to paint this face. I really like the yellow-orange eyes to stand out against the purple. It's done with the watercolors. And in this case it was very handy to have the white pens to do the whiskers. I really love the way how this one turned out. It's the Mystic Purple. Again, I used the inks for the background to get these great effects, and the face is done with the watercolors. And again, just tiny highlights with the paint pen. This is Fairy Tale Pink, so of course I had to do something fairy tale like. She was really fun to make. All done with watercolors, except the outlines. I used Faber-Castell Pit brush pen. I really loved this one, the way it turned out. I used all watercolors for this one, and I wanted to concentrate on the two faces, so I kept the outlines very simple. I really love the bright pink. I don't think you can see it on the video, but in real it's almost neon-like pink. And this is the last one of the challenge. It was also a challenge for me to use red because it's a color I don't use often. I used the mermaid markers to do this one. And for the tiny lines I used watercolor pencil. And then I wetted it with a brush with some clean water to get those detail lines. Well, that's about it. This was only the Jane Davenport watercolor challenge. If I failed this completely, then I might do another challenge. But I hope you had fun watching this one. So thank you for watching. Bye!